The sensation that something has shifted is not a figment of your imagination. It is not the residue of a dream, nor the side effect of wishful thinking. It is the fundamental recognition of a new reality. A quiet, internal knowing that the world you are standing in today is not the same world you were standing in 6 months ago, or even 6 weeks ago. For many of you, the last period of your life has been characterized by an unplaceable feeling, a subtle, persistent hum beneath the surface of daily life that whispers of a profound change. You may have found yourself looking at familiar surroundings and feeling as though they are slightly out of focus, or perhaps more vibrant than they were yesterday. You may have woken up one morning with a strange sense of peace that you could not explain, a calm that had no logical source. This is the first indicator that you have successfully navigated the transition between timelines. You are no longer waiting for the shift to happen. You are currently standing within the architecture of your highest and most abundant timeline. This is a concept that deserves to be unpacked with care because it is so often misunderstood. A timeline shift is not a future event that requires intense effort, elaborate ritual, or years of spiritual practice to achieve. The reality of quantum consciousness suggests that shifts occur in the silence of the present moment. They are quiet redirections of your internal frequency that align you with a version of the world that already exists, a version that has always existed, waiting patiently for you to match its vibration. When you stop trying to manifest and instead begin to observe what is already present, you give yourself permission to inhabit this new space. The struggle to reach a destination, driven by effort and striving, is a hallmark of the old timeline. The realization that you have already arrived, fueled by observation and allowing, is the primary frequency of the new one. Your perception of time has transformed from linear and scarce to fluid and abundant. Your relationship to yourself has evolved from seeking external validation to embracing internal authority. The very feel of your environment has shifted from heavy and predictable to light and synchronistic. These are not metaphors. These are measurable, felt changes in the quality of your daily experience, and they are the first signs that the architecture of your new world is already being constructed around you. The illusion of trying. Why effort was never the answer. In the old timeline, the dominant belief was that abundance had to be earned. You were taught that the harder you worked, the more you struggled, the more you sacrificed, the greater your reward would be. This is the foundational program of the lower density reality, and it is a program that most of us inherited before we were old enough to question it. The problem with this belief is not simply that it is exhausting. The deeper problem is that it is energetically self-defeating. When you try to manifest from a place of lack, you are broadcasting the frequency of lack. The universe, which functions as a mirror of your internal state, has no choice but to reflect that frequency back to you. You work harder, you receive less, and the cycle deepens. The timeline shift breaks this cycle entirely. It does not break it through a new strategy or a better technique. It breaks it through a fundamental reorientation of identity. In the highest timeline, you are not a person who is trying to get somewhere. You are a person who has already arrived. This is not a positive affirmation you repeat in the mirror each morning. It is a lived, embodied recognition that the version of you who is abundant, peaceful, and sovereign is not a future self you are building toward. It is the self you already are at the level of frequency, right now, in this moment. You might notice that the noise of the world seems to have changed. The frantic energy of the collective, which once felt like a heavy weight on your shoulders, now feels distant, as if you are watching a movie from a comfortable seat rather than being a character trapped in the plot. This detachment is not a lack of empathy. It is a sign of your frequency elevation. You have moved to a higher floor in the building of reality, and while you can still see the street below, you are no longer buffeted by the wind and the chaos of the traffic. This is what it feels like to have shifted. Not a dramatic explosion of light, but a quiet, unmistakable sense of elevation. The transition often occurs during periods of deep rest or sudden, unexplained stillness. You may have woken up one morning feeling different without being able to put it into words. This is because the shift happens at the level of the subconscious blueprint. Your mind may still be trying to catch up with the old scripts of lack and limitation, but your heart already knows the truth. The abundance you have been seeking is not something you are creating. It is something you are finally allowing yourself to see. In this highest timeline, abundance is the baseline, not the exception. And as you move through this first phase of realization, it is essential to release the need to prove the shift to yourself. The old timeline relied on external evidence to justify internal belief. In the new timeline, the internal realization precedes the external evidence. You are invited to walk through your day with the quiet confidence of someone who has already won. The architecture of the new world. What 5D abundance actually looks like. The phrase 5D abundance is used frequently in spiritual communities, but it is rarely explained in concrete, practical terms. Let us be specific. The architecture of the new world is not simply a world where everyone has more money, though financial flow is certainly one of its expressions. It is a world built on an entirely different set of foundational beliefs about the nature of reality, the nature of resources, and the nature of human potential. In the lower timelines, the world is built on the belief that there is not enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough love, not enough opportunity. This belief is the root of all competition, all conflict, and all suffering. It creates a world where your gain is perceived as someone else's loss, where collaboration is seen as naive, and where the accumulation of resources is the primary measure of worth. This is the 3D scarcity model, and it has shaped every major institution of human civilization, from economics to education to medicine to governance. In the highest timeline, you realize that abundance is the fundamental nature of the universe. When you live from a place of more than enough, you are broadcasting a frequency of infinite supply. This frequency has the power to dissolve the collective programs of lack and limitation. Your abundance is not taken from someone else. It is created from the infinite field of potential that underlies all physical reality. Where the old 3D scarcity-based model saw economy as competition and exploitation, the 5D abundance-based model fosters collaboration and contribution. Governance shifts from power over and control to power with and sovereignty. Education transforms from conformity and standardized tests to creativity and unique expression. Health evolves from disease management and fear to wellness optimization and vitality. These are not utopian fantasies. They are the natural outcomes of a collective frequency shift, and they begin with individuals, like you, who have already made the internal transition. The architecture of the new world also involves a profound shift in your relationship with nature. In the lower timelines, nature is often seen as a resource to be exploited or a force to be controlled. In the highest timeline, you realize that the earth is a conscious, living being undergoing her own evolution. You feel a deep, intuitive connection to the land, the animals, and the elements. This is ecological harmony. When you treat the earth with respect, gratitude, and love, you are in alignment with her highest frequency, and your environment begins to reflect this harmony in ways that are both subtle and unmistakable. Plants thrive in your presence. You find yourself drawn to open spaces, to water, to the sound of wind in trees. Land use shifts from ownership and extraction to stewardship and regeneration. Animals are no longer merely objects for consumption, but fellow souls and teachers. Water transforms from a commodity to be traded to a sacred source of life. Air, once treated as a waste disposal system, becomes the very breath of the divine. The reinvention of community, building the frequency hubs. One of the most profound and visible signs of the timeline shift is the transformation of your social world. In the lower dimensions, communities are often built on shared fears, shared enemies, or shared limitations. People bond over what they are against, what they are afraid of, or what they believe they lack. This is the glue of the old world, and it is a glue that dissolves the moment you shift your frequency. In the 5D reality, communities are built on shared resonance, shared visions, and shared joy. You may find that you are being drawn to groups and individuals who are also holding the frequency of the new world. These are the frequency hubs, gatherings of souls who are committed to creating a reality based on love, abundance, and sovereignty. In these communities, the success of one is seen as a victory for all, and the unique gifts of each individual are celebrated and nurtured rather than suppressed or standardized. You are also likely experiencing a new relationship with the natural world. When you treat the earth with respect, gratitude, and love, you are in alignment with her highest frequency, and your environment begins to reflect this harmony. This is not coincidence. This is ecological harmony, and it is one of the most beautiful signs that you have entered the architecture of the new world. This great awakening is not just a personal event. It is a collective recalibration. You are part of a growing wave of souls who are opting out of the lower density narratives of fear and scarcity. By standing firmly in your new reality, you are creating a stabilizing frequency for others. You are a pioneer of consciousness, showing that the highest timeline is not a distant dream but a present moment reality. The world is changing because you have changed, and the abundance you see is only the beginning of what is possible. Signs and synchronicities. How the new world confirms itself. One of the most common questions people ask when they first encounter the concept of a timeline shift is, how do I know if it has actually happened? The answer is that the new timeline confirms itself constantly through a language of signs and synchronicities that are personalized specifically for you. You may have noticed that certain numbers appear to you with unusual frequency. The number 111 is one of the most commonly reported signs of timeline alignment. When you see 111, it is a confirmation that your thoughts are in direct alignment with your highest frequency, that you are broadcasting a clear signal, and that the universe is acknowledging your arrival in the new timeline. The number 222 carries the energy of balance and confirmation, a signal that you are exactly where you need to be and that the path ahead is clear. The number 444 is a sign of divine protection and support, a reminder that you are not navigating this shift alone, that unseen forces are actively conspiring in your favor. And when you see 888, you are receiving a direct communication about financial and material abundance, a confirmation that the flow of prosperity is opening in your life right now. Beyond numbers, you may notice synchronicities in the form of unexpected conversations that deliver exactly the information you needed to hear. You may find that a book falls open to a page that answers a question you have been sitting with. A song may come on the radio with lyrics that speak directly to your current experience. These are not coincidences. They are the universe communicating with you in the language of resonance, confirming that you are tuned to the right frequency and that the highest timeline is not only real but actively responding to your presence within it. You may also notice a shift in your relationship with animals. Certain creatures may appear in your life with unusual frequency. A hawk circling overhead, a butterfly landing near you, a deer appearing at the edge of a path. In the highest timeline, animals are not merely biological organisms. They are messengers of specific energies, carrying information from the natural world to the awakened soul. The hawk brings the message of a higher perspective. The butterfly signals transformation. The deer invites you into a state of gentleness and grace. Pay attention to these encounters. They are not random. They are the universe speaking to you in a language that predates words. The key to working with these signs is not to chase them or to become dependent on them for reassurance. The invitation is to receive them with gratitude and to use them as gentle reminders to return to the frequency of the one who has already arrived. Each synchronicity is a green light, a confirmation that you are on the path of least resistance and greatest joy. Practical daily rituals, anchoring the new architecture. Understanding the timeline shift intellectually is only the beginning. The deeper work is in anchoring this new reality into the fabric of your daily life, in making the frequency of abundance your baseline rather than your aspiration. The following practices are not obligations or chores. They are sacred acts of self-alignment, designed to help you maintain the frequency of your highest timeline even when the noise of the old world attempts to pull you back. The morning recalibration. Before you check your phone, your messages, or your to-do list, take 5 minutes to simply be. Sit in silence and feel the presence of your own soul. Place your hand on your heart and state your intention. I am currently standing in my highest, most abundant timeline. I allow the universe to mirror my joy, my peace, and my prosperity today. This is not a performance, it is a frequency setting. You are choosing before the day has a chance to choose for you, the energetic signature from which you will operate. This morning pause, once a luxury, is now a necessity for setting the baseline frequency of your day. The Synchronicity Journal. Keep a small notebook or a note on your phone dedicated entirely to recording synchronicities. Each time you notice a meaningful coincidence, an angel number, an unexpected confirmation, write it down. This practice does two things simultaneously. It trains your attention to look for evidence of the new timeline rather than evidence of the old one, and it creates a tangible record of the universe's communication with you. Over time, this journal becomes one of the most powerful tools you have for sustaining your faith in the shift. When doubt arises, and it will, you can return to this record and see, in your own handwriting, the proof of your new reality. The Evening Gratitude Anchor. Before sleep, identify 3 moments from your day where you felt the frequency of your highest timeline. A moment of unexpected beauty. A conversation that felt effortless and nourishing. A creative idea that arrived without struggle. By ending your day in a state of gratitude and recognition, you are pre-paving the frequency of tomorrow with the successes of today. Your subconscious mind will continue to process these codes of abundance while you sleep, deepening the neural and energetic pathways of your new reality. The instant recalibration. Whenever you feel yourself slipping into the noise of the old timeline, the anxiety, the doubt, or the fear, take 3 deep breaths into your heart. Feel the presence of your highest self and remind yourself, I am here. I am safe. I have already shifted. You are using your breath and your intention to snap yourself back into the frequency of your highest timeline. You are no longer a victim of your thoughts. You are their master. This heart-centered breathing, once a technique, is now a direct pathway to stabilizing your nervous system and returning to your center. Empowering conclusion. Welcome to the world that was always waiting for you. This is not a destination you have arrived at after a long and difficult journey, though it may have felt like one. This is a recognition of what has always been true at the level of your soul. You are an infinite being inhabiting a temporary physical form, and the highest timeline is not something you created. It is something you remembered. It is the version of reality that exists when you stop arguing with the universe about what you deserve and simply allow yourself to receive what has always been yours. You are part of a growing wave of souls who are opting out of the lower density narratives of fear and scarcity. By standing firmly in your new reality, you are creating a stabilizing frequency for others. You are a pioneer of consciousness, showing that the highest timeline is not a distant dream, but a present moment reality. The world is changing because you have changed, and the abundance you see now is only the beginning of what is possible. Walk through your day with the quiet confidence of someone who has already won. Trust in your intuition. Follow your joy. Know that the universe is actively conspiring in your favor. You are here, you are ready, and the best is yet to come. This is your highest timeline, and it is a masterpiece that you are creating with every breath. May you walk in peace, the foundation of all creation. May you live in abundance, the natural state of the universe. May you shine in joy, the greatest service to humanity. May you rest in love, the ultimate truth of your being. Affirmation: I am no longer waiting for my life to begin. I am living it now, in the fullness of my highest timeline, where abundance is my natural state, peace is my foundation, and joy is my greatest service to the world. I have arrived. I am home.